Hello everybody, it is Micah and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the very first episode of It's Been a Hoot, the week in review. Something I'm gonna be doing at least once a week where I just talk about a bunch of like news, reviews, and all kinds of fun stuff that's been happening over the course of the week. In fact, I may be doing these at least twice a week. I'm definitely gonna do one a week, but I'm gonna probably do more than one a week just because there is so much to cover. But before we begin, if this is your first time here, make sure you like and subscribe. You can do so by clicking me in the face down there in the corner. Just give it a good punch in the snoz. I'm sure there's a whole lot of people who'd really like to do that. And if you really want to do me a solid, share with your friends. Hey, this is a new channel. I would really appreciate that share. But now that that is all out of the way, let's start. And the place I wanted to start with was Fallout 76 because there is so much going on with Bethesda this week. It's just absolutely crazy. I probably could have made a video of this all on my own, but you know, getting all this fun stuff set up for you guys, I just didn't have much time. But I do now. I do think I should say, just as a disclaimer, that I've not played Fallout 76 yet. I'm a huge fan of the Fallout franchise. I have 3, 4, New Vegas still on my PC, actually. But this just did not seem like my cup of tea, so I ended up canceling my pre-order. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Haven't played it, so this isn't going to be like me all pissed off and dogging on the game. It's just, hey, this is what's going on with Bethesda. So let's start at the tip of the iceberg of Bethesda's very bad week, and that of course is going to be involving the price reduction. Yes, it went from $60 to $40 a week later, and then went down to $35. And a lot of people have been defending this move by saying, oh, well, it's been Black Friday and it's Cyber Monday, and of course you're going to have price reductions. And yes, you are, but not on a game that just came out a week ago. I mean, that basically shows you just how poorly this game is doing. And that is a huge slap in the face to anybody who actually bought the game at full price. This has happened before with other companies. I mean, we've seen it happen just a few months ago when it came to Tomb Raider, when that wasn't performing up to par, where Square Enix dropped the price by 34% a month after release. And we all know what happened there. Just the complete shit show that happened when it came to like the review bombs and everything that happened and all the bad publicity that Square Enix got. I mean, this is just, it's not cool to do, guys. I mean, come on, you can't do that to your consumers. I mean, that's just bad. But that's not it. Oh no, like I said, Bethesda's having a very bad week because it also seems that they are being investigated for deceptive practices when it comes to their refund policy by the law firm of Migliaccio and Rathod. I think I pronounced that right. My naming, if you've watched any other videos, you know my naming is horrible and it's just going to get worse as this video goes on. So yeah, fun. The DC-based law firm decided to start the investigation after users on sites like Reddit started talking about how Bethesda was refusing to issue refunds for Fallout 76, a game that has been completely torn apart by critics and users alike. Bruno Ortego Toledo, a paralegal for the law firm, had this to say. While minor bugs and glitches are expected with the release of most new games, Fallout 76 launched with a 56GB patch that has proven to be but a starting point for the game's problems. Gamers who have tried to receive a refund because of the game's myriad of glitches have been unable to do so since they downloaded the game, leaving them to deal with an unplayable experience until patches bring it back to a playable state. It will be very interesting to see where this goes, and I will definitely keep you up to date. On top of everything else, there was a problem with one of the editions of the game, specifically the Power Armor edition, which was the edition that was supposed to come with all these goodies. One of the things that was supposed to come with was a canvas bag, and when they shipped it with just a nylon bag. And after receiving this, a bunch of people took pictures of it and they contacted Bethesda, and they said, you know, hey, what's up with this nylon bag? And Bethesda's response was like, oh, well, you know, there's a shortage of materials, so we just sent you this nylon bag. Now, this doesn't really sound like a big deal. I mean, it's just a nylon bag, but this is also a $200 edition of this game. And when you spend $200, I mean, when I spend $200 on a game, if I'm going to get stuff, I expect to get what was promised, even if it's just a canvas bag that I may throw in my closet and never think about again. It's still, I paid $200 for this. You know, this is what you need to give me. And what was Bethesda's solution to this? Well, they're just going to give the users 500 atoms to spend in the Fallout 76 cash shop. Basically, they're issuing users a $5 gift card. And if you were one of the users who got the Power Armor edition and want your 500 atoms, which funnily enough isn't even enough to buy a canvas bag in the cash shop, you can go to a special site they set up just for that purpose. I do have it linked below. The description was changed in the online store to nylon, but the picture, as of the date of this recording anyway, still said canvas. So if there's any confusion, yeah, you're just going to get the nylon. When it comes to non-legal repercussions, this does not look good for your consumers. This does not look good for your investors. I know as someone who does not buy games at full price, like ever, unless I really have to like your IP to do so, this is going to put a damper. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm going to pre-order Fallout 5. I'm not sure if I'm going to pre-order Elder Scrolls 6, if this is the type of business practices Bethesda is going to have. They're really going to have to make up a lot. They're really going to have to impress me when it comes to the advertisements for 5 and 6, for Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6, to get me to pre-order them. And even then, I'm going to be a little bit hesitant. But let us move on to a little bit more positive news in the world of game development. In mid-November, the CEO of CD Projekt Red, Adam Kaczynski, was asked if they were following and learning anything by the recent release of Red Dead Redemption 2 when it came to the IP Cyberpunk 2077. As we know, Red Dead Redemption had an incredible release. It's been dripping with positive reviews and even earned a 97 out of 100 on Metacritic. And they were wondering, hey, is this something that we're going to see also when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077? And Kaczynski responded, "Without a doubt, quality is of paramount importance. We strive to publish games which are as refined as Red Dead Redemption 2 and recent Rockstar releases in general. That game is excellent, by the way. We are rooting for it. Rave reviews, excellent sales. What does this teach us? Well, it teaches us we need to publish extraordinary games, and that's exactly what we're planning." He goes on to say, "So it pays to be amongst the best. That's who gets the nice fat slice of cake business-wise. And the same cannot be said for the lower leagues. In summary, we are rooting for Rockstar and for Red Dead Redemption 2, and we're happy to see that excellent games continue to sell well." There was also a question when it came to the current state of the game, because there was a rumor that the game's main campaign was already playable, and they really wanted to know like what is going on with the game, like what state it's in. And to this, Kaczynski replied, "We are fleshing out the game world. The comment regarding the game's campaign, yes, it was true at the time it appeared. However, not all the game looked like the fragments showcased at E3 and Gamescom. A large part was not quite as detailed. We are filling the world with content and tweaking things, and this involves a great deal of hard work on the part of the developers. What I can say today is that we are progressing fast and according to plan. When we finish, there's also a hugely important phase of polishing all the game's content." There was a question about the quality of the game we plan to deliver at launch, and our intention is to deliver something of great quality. So I think it must be stated that this was not a slight at Bethesda at all. I mean, this conference actually happened the same day that Fallout 76 came out, and even though there was a few bad reviews floating around out there, I mean, the whole shit show hadn't started yet. So yeah, this was not at all slight at Bethesda. However, it is very wonderful to hear a CEO, a money guy, talking about how the most important thing is making a quality game, not loot boxes, not cash shops, not myriads of DLC for us to spend our money on, but making a good game. Because honestly, if you make a good game, that's how I spend the money on it. Like I said before, with my favorite IPs, I will pay you full price for a game if it's good quality. So yeah, keep up the good quality. And honestly, if you're going to do something like Witcher 3, because I thought Witcher 3 was amazing, right there you have it in with me. So yeah, go ahead, release this good game. It's just going to get you those big bucks later on. So now let's move on to Legend of Zelda, because we learned in an article from Forbes this week that Breath of the Wild is not a part of any official Legend of Zelda timeline. This statement came after the release of the book Creating a Champion, which, by the way, at the time of this recording is 50% off on Amazon.com. I do have that linked below if you wanted to grab a copy. I did. I added it to my Zelda book collection. So yeah, go ahead and get that right now, real quick. But first, let's go into some background, because it was stated on the official Legend of Zelda website earlier this year that Breath of the Wild was actually at the very bottom. I mean, it was basically the very end of the whole saga. But they didn't actually tell you which timeline it belonged to. It just that it was the very end. And now it's time for me to butcher some names again, because Famitsu had an interview with series producer Eiji Aonuma and game director Hadamaru Fujibayashi, and they were wondering what placing it at the end meant. Uji responded, "Well, of course it's at the very end, but I get what you're asking. Which timeline is at the end of?" Hadamaru continued to say, "That's up to the player's imagination, isn't it?" But now it seems the official statement has changed, with Uji Aonuma stating, In books like the recently released The Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia, we revealed where each Zelda game fell on the timeline and how their stories related. But we didn't do that for Breath of the Wild, and there's a reason for that. With this game, we saw just how many players were playing in their own way and had those reactions I just mentioned. We realized that people were enjoying imagining the story that emerged from the fragmental imagery we were providing. If we defined a restricted timeline, that there would be a definitive story and would eliminate the room for imagination, which wouldn't be as fun. We want players to be able to continue having fun imagining this world even after they finish with the game. So this time, we decided that we'd avoid making clarifications. I hope that everyone can find their own answer in their own way. And in more news on the Nintendo front, in a recent article by Bloomberg, it sounds like Nintendo is not going to meet its 2018 fiscal year sales goals with a projection of only 35 of the 38 million units sold. Analysts are blaming the lack of sales on a shortness of attractive titles for the console, such as Mario or Legend of Zelda, which both came out the first year, and then IPs such as Labo just not doing as well as expected. And even though the Switch is a multifunctional console, being able to be played on TV or as a handheld, a lot of people are really just seeing it as a really expensive handheld. And that also puts it in direct competition with Nintendo's 3DS, which also suffered a loss in profits of 2/3 for the fiscal year. But this doesn't mean the Switch is in dire straits yet, so don't really worry about that. I mean, there's a lot they can do to recover. They can lower the price, they can come out with new models, and they can also bring out games that are attractive to customers. Like the highly anticipated but yet just teased new Metroid game. That is a game I am super excited about. I'm gonna buy. That's gonna be a pre-order and buy. I love the Metroid series. I'm having a total fun time playing the old Metroid on my NES Classic and my SNES Classic. So I'm really looking forward to the new Metroid. So bring that out fast. I'm super excited. And finally, we're going to go into a little bit of tech news because Walmart has been trying to break into the gaming PC market for quite a while. And they just came out with there's this new thing called Overpowered, which is kind of like the Walmart exclusive gaming PC version. So I feel I must state my bias again here because I'm a huge proponent of building your own PC. I don't really like buying pre-mades. I can completely understand why you would want to though. I mean, the first time you build a PC is completely nerve-wracking, especially if you don't know much about, computers at all. But at the same time, you get to customize them however you want. You get to, make them look however you want, and you can buy the components one at a time. That's what I did. I always just I figured out which components I wanted and then I bought them all on sale. So I think I got a $2,500 computer for about $1,500-$1,600 because of all the sales I was able to take advantage of. So, yep. But if you do buy pre-mades, it's very important to do your research, make sure you're getting what you want and make sure that the quality is up to par and very much to make sure you are not overpaying. And that's the case when it comes to the OP series with Walmart, because once people started getting these and started taking them apart, they started noticing a lot of things. Like there was single stick memory, which if you get a gaming computer, you always want dual channel. You want 2 sticks of memory in there. It's very important. And there's also stuff like off-brand power supplies, which is not good. It can fry your system. Power supply is one of those things that you don't want to skimp out on. And there was also poor cable management and even some cables hot glued into the PC, and the hot glue had gotten on the motherboard. I mean, you don't hot glue your cables in anyway, and to hot glue them in, and then to get that on the motherboard, yeah, that's completely unacceptable. The reviewers at Gamers Nexus actually ordered a computer. They had it shipped, and it turned out to be significantly poorer than the one they had bought. They did pay, I think, like $2,200-$2,300, and they got like the $1,400 system. This could be just a mistake. I mean, Gamers Nexus even said, sometimes there is just shipping mistakes, and it just might have landed on a reviewer. But honestly, if you don't know computers, you may think that you got a $2,400 computer when you actually just got a $1,400 one. So it's very important to, that these mistakes are just not made. I do have the Gamers Nexus and another video linked below if you want to check those out that talk more about the Walmart systems. But this is something if you don't know computers, like I said, do your research, make sure you're getting, what you bought. I mean, it's just very important, especially when it comes to a system that's as expensive as a gaming PC. Just do your due diligence. But that's it. That's all I have for you. That is the very first episode of It's Been a Hoot, the Week in Review. If you have any feedback for me, positive, negative, doesn't really matter. Just leave it in the comments. This is a new thing I'm doing, and I want to make it better, and I want to improve myself. So yes, definitely give me some feedback if you would like, and if you would like to follow me on social media, everything is linked below. But as usual, it's been a hoot, and until next time, have fun.